Hello YouTube and welcome back to another Dare to Game video. Today we're playing Mountain Blade Bannerlord, specifically the Eagle Rising mod, and we're going to be talking about the best mounted archers in the game. And so, for no reason in particular, I'm only going to be doing the top 5 today, and it couldn't possibly have anything to do with the fact that the mod developers have, as of yet, not put that many mounted cavalry units in the game. And so we'll be talking about just the 5 best ones that are currently available. And so let's just dive on in and start off at number 5. Alright, and so at number 5 we have the SAKA Heavy Horse Archer, and I've kind of labeled them the SAKA Heavy Horse Archer 2, and the reason for that being there are 2 different units in the game named the SAKA Heavy Horse Archer. The major difference is that where they come from. So the first one that we're going to be looking at here, the one that I've labeled the SAKA Heavy Horse Archer 2, comes from the SAKA Tribal Raider, and down through the SAKA Raider, the SAKA Horse Archer, and finally the SAKA Heavy Horse Archer. The other one comes from a different spot, and we'll get to there later. That being said, this one has 8 different loadouts, so we have mostly just a variety of different cosmetic things. Like I've said before, I find excessive sets like this where they don't make a big difference kind of pointless. I get that maybe some people just don't want their army to look too uniform on the battlefield, but at a certain point I think it gets to be a bit much. In any case, we're going to be focusing on the first set for each and every unit that we look at today. So our loadout for this one are the Bronze Helm with Leather, which has the head armor of 30, the Leather Armor, which gives us 20 body armor, 5 arm armor, and 7 leg armor, and the Tribal Pants, which give us 10 leg armor. All of that put together gives us a rather low average armor rating of 18, so not too terribly high there, but, you know, not crazy surprising considering it's all pretty light, especially the torso armor, which brings our average down quite a bit, and the fact that we don't have arm armor. With that being said, we do have a pretty solid horse because it's a SAKA troop and all of them have good horses, and this one has really solid armor, so at least the horse is pretty well protected. On top of that, our loadout is the Heavy Recurve Bow, which is really a really solid and very good bow. And we have 2 quivers of step arrows, so 24 each, that gives us 48 arrows total, and then the Steel Sword for our secondary melee weapon. And so stats to pay attention to for this unit are going to be Riding of 130, Athletics of 130, One-Handed of 130, and Bow of 130. So 130s across the board with an 18 for our AAR. Not too terribly terrific as far as armor value goes, but it is a very light, fast-moving unit, so the idea should be that they're not getting hit that much. So with all that being said, the SAKA Heavy Horse Archer 2 takes the number 5 spot on this list. Then for our number 4 spot on this list, we have the only one that won't be a SAKA troop, the DRYATIC Mounted Jun troop. And so this one comes from the basic troop tree, starting with the Clansman, moving down through the Woodrunner. Then we take the left path for the DRYATIC Archer and the DRYATIC Bowman, and then the right branch for the DRYATIC Mounted Jun troop. And so this one is a pretty cool looking unit in my opinion. I quite like them. There are 8 different sets, but again, they don't vary that much. You know, you'll see small cosmetic differences, but for the most part, they just look the same. And so our loadout for this one is the Iron Chalcidian Helm, which gives us 35 head armor, the Leather Luminata armor, which gives us 30 body armor, 10 arm, and 10 leg armor, and the Trousers, which give us 10 leg armor. Once again, we're missing out on arm armor, so losing some armor value there, but our average armor rating is slightly higher than the last one, with an average armor rating of 23.75. We also have a pretty solid horse with the Battanian Hobby. The only downside is not super great armor, so a little bit more prone to dying, I guess. Our weapon loadout for this one is the Nordic Shortbow, which is a pretty good bow. It could be better, but it's okay. And then 2 quivers of Bodkin arrows, so 3 pierce damage for those, and each one stacks to 24, so 48 arrows total. And the Bronze Broadsword, which is a pretty solid weapon. So the stats to pay attention to on this one are Riding of 130, Athletics of 130, One-Handed of 130, and Bow of 130. So once again, 130s across the board. The only difference and thing that puts it ahead of the last one we looked at is, of course, our slightly better armor value. So that's number 4. Let's move on to number 3. And so at number 3, we have the other SAKA Heavy Horse Archer. So like I said, there's no naming difference between the 2 of them. I just labeled them 1 and 2 to keep them straight in my own notes. This one comes from the SAKA Tribal Raider, down through the SAKA Raider, SAKA Horse Archer, and SAKA Heavy Horse Archer. So slightly different troop tree. Not 100% sure how and where to identify the differences between them until we get them to the top, but this one does have slightly better armor. So there are 4 sets for this one, and again, they're going to be mostly cosmetic. They don't make a huge difference stat-wise, so we'll just focus on tree number 1. Our loadout here is the Bronze Helm with Scale, which gives us 45 head armor, the Scale over Leather Armor, which gives us 30 body, 6 arm, and 10 leg, and the Half Scale Pants, which give us 18 leg. All of that going together to give us an average armor rating of 27.25, so a significant step above the last 2. And on top of that, we've got the Step Hunter for a horse, which is of course a really good horse, and it has good armor on it. So nice, fast, and powerful horse, and also pretty well protected, so significantly better than the last one we looked at. Our weapons for this one are the Step Recurve Bow, which is one of the best bows in the game, and then 2 quivers of Step Arrows, which give us 2 damage, and each stack to 24, so 48 arrows total. And then we have the Fine Sword for our secondary melee weapon. So stats to pay attention to on this this unit are riding of 130, athletics of 130, one-handed of 130, and bow of 130. So once again, we just have 130s across the board, but we've got a better average armor rating, so a little bit better protection. So that's why this one takes the number 3 spot. At our number 2 spot, we've got the second to last one in this troop tree, the SAKA Horse Lord. So you start with the SAKA Horse Prince and upgrade it to Lord. I wouldn't think that Lord is higher ranking than Prince, but what do I know? Just, other than history. So this one only has 2 different sets, and between them, there just really aren't that many differences. The key one being the bow, but the bows perform very similarly and are similar stat-wise, so not a huge difference. I guess I like the Jade one better than the candy cane looking one. But outside of that, the loadout for this one has the Iron Helm, which gives us 50 head armor, the Heavy Scale Armor, which gives us 55 body, 15 arm, and 25 leg, and the Full Scale Pants, which give us 25 leg armor. All of which put together gives us an average armor rating of 42.5, so way better than all of the rest of the ones we've talked about on this list so far, almost double what the last one was, so a lot considering that. Our weapon loadout on this one is the Striped Bow, or Jade Bow, depending on which loadout you get, the Nomad Arrows, which only give 2 damage, but 1 quiver of them does stack to 50, so quite a bit of ammo there, the Noble Sword, and the Horse Archer Shield. So the good thing about this one is, even though it's only 1 quiver of arrows, the stack is still the same, so we have about the same amount of arrows you'll get on any of these troops, but we also have a sword and shield, so this one is a little bit less prone to, dying from arrow fire. On top of that, our horse is once again going to be a good one with the Step Hunter, and we once again have good armor for it. So all around, very, very good unit because of their heavier armor and the fact that they also have a shield. They also pair or can function relatively well as a mounted melee unit or on foot as an infantry unit. So actually pretty solid. And stats to pay attention to here are going to be riding of 130, athletics of 130, one-handed of 130, and bow of 130. So once again, 130s across the board, but the key difference here is a way better armor rating. So that's number 2, the SAKA Horse Lord. Let's move on to number 1, 100 DTG points if you can guess what it is. Of course, at number 1 we have the SAKA Elite Guard. It's just the upgrade from the last one we were looking at. So nothing much to talk about there, just upgrade it one more time and you get to the best mounted archer in the mod. This one has 3 sets, and once again they're going to be a little bit different in appearance because the second one has the plate armor instead of the scale, but the stats are still real close. Obviously this one's going to be slightly better, but considering the other ones, there's 2, so we're just going to go off the set number 1 anyway for consistency's sake and such. And so the loadout on this one is the Iron Helm, which gives us 50 head armor, the Heavy Scale Armor, which gives us 55 body armor, 15 arm armor, and 25 leg armor, and the Full Scale Pants, which give us 25 leg armor. All put together gives us an average armor rating of 42.5. Same as the last one we looked at, and very, very solid armor, especially when you consider the fact that this is a mounted archer unit and not like a heavy lancer or heavy sword and board infantry. But with that being said, we also once again have the Step Hunter and once again have the good armor on it. So really, really good stuff. Pretty well armored, actually not that light or easy to take out. Our weapons on this one are the Jade Bow, the Nomad Arrows, so once again 2 pierce damage, but a stack of 50, the Noble Sword, and the Horse Archer Heavy Shield. So once again, we've got the sword and shield option. We still have the same amount of arrows as any other mounted troop, and just significantly better armor. And so stats to pay attention to here are riding of 160, athletics of 160, one-handed of 160, and bow of 160. So just across the board, the SAKA Elite Guard takes the cake for basically every category. It's got some of the best armor in the game. It's tied for the second place, but it's got the best armor in the game for mounted archers. It's got plenty of arrows. It's got one of the best bows in the game, one of the best horses in the game, really good armor on the horse, and it has the best stats for using all of the weapons it's equipped with. So the SAKA Elite Guard takes the number 1 spot, and that is all 5 of the best mounted archers in Eagle Rising: Dawn of an Empire. Hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful, but in any case, that's all for today, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching another Dare to Game video. If you liked this video, please leave a like and a comment. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you like my content and would like to support this channel, consider becoming a member today for as little as $1.99 a month. It makes a huge difference. But in any case, thanks for watching and have a nice day. I'll see you next time.